Hello. Welcome back to my channel. Today we will be reviewing Love is Blind episode 12. We start off with Chelsea and Jimmy. Jimmy asked Chelsea if she was sure about getting married or not. She said yes, of course, because they have gotten through a lot of conflict together and she had an off day yesterday. If most of your days are off days, that is your normal. That means you need to get it together. If you also needed to get it together, please check out my last video on getting back on track for 2024 and exiting your lazy era. Now back to the craziness. So Jimmy dropped the bomb that he does not want to get married. At least he didn't embarrass her in front of, everybody that she knows. Instead, he decided to do it in front of millions of viewers. But they were both wrong in this scene. So Jimmy said he's been thinking about this for 2 weeks now, since that last argument. Why would you wait for her to get excited, get a dress, and you helped her pick out wedding music? That's just cruel to me. You should have just left after the argument. But Chelsea tried to gaslight him, of course. Chelsea, sweetie, this was about more than one argument. And he has been more than considerate of your feelings. So let's please just stop it right there. She really could have had that last argument off camera or hinted at what she was talking about. She very purposely told that secret to make him look bad. He brings up the relationship with her ex and the fact that she FaceTimed him the first day they got their phones back. She claims it's different because they don't talk every day. They have a mutual friendship. What is that? I know what a mutual friend is, but not a mutual friendship. Isn't that just a friend? And why did you FaceTime him then? It sounds like y'all are keeping in touch because he shouldn't even realize y'all haven't spoken if it's really rare. And why did you need to call him with your new man, your fiance, right there? If it wasn't a look what you lost call, there was honestly no point in that. And then there were two. So we go into AD and Amy's bachelorette parties and Clay and Johnny's bachelor party. The girls were having the time of their lives. Love to see it. This was the first time I actually saw Amy let her hair down. I thought she was generally a more reserved person. I don't know why AD was so shocked Amy and Johnny haven't had sex yet. Somebody can have a sexy, sensual personality but still be reserved in that area. Also, AD, you test drove that car and you still walked away with a lemon. So let's not get into any soul ties or contracts before reading the fine print. So Clay, we hop over to the guys and Clay told his friends how good their relationship is going. And he honestly said a whole lot of nothing. They were such generic answers. The first thing he said was good sex. I want to know if they took sex and looks off the table, what would their relationship be like? Like, what would be left for them to talk about? But he goes on to say basically he thinks she is a ride or die in so many words, and she'll put up with his mess. Did anyone else get the vibe that Clay and Johnny were shading Jimmy? Like, especially Clay, because he said several times, like, I'm happy it's us two. I don't know why he needed to emphasize that so much. Like, why are you so happy that it's just you two? Are you happy that you're included in the two and that you made it to the end? I didn't understand that part. AD and Clay's wedding day. So they start off with a flashback of their relationship, and AD tells us why she fell in love with Clay. Her answers were better than Clay's, but she still has rose-colored glasses on. She said he is authentic and shows his true self, which is true. He showed you how unready for marriage he is, and yet you still want to marry him. Then she said they mesh perfectly together. At this point, if you like it, I love it. And she ended with his looks again. Hearing her talk in the scene, I think she just really wanted to be married, and to a black man specifically. So she was going to do whatever she needed to do to make it work. Clay shows up in true man fashion. It is not fair that guys can just get ready so easily. But we see Clay's brothers. I wonder if they are a product of his dad's infidelity, because they all kind of look a little bit different. Like they could share a same gene, but not exactly. And then they switch back to AD, and AD's mom tells her she just met Clay's mom. I don't know why I never thought about this. Why do they not have a meeting with both families after the individual meetings? I don't think people put enough emphasis on how important it is for your families to get along. If it's not for y'all, think about your future kids. You don't want to have separate birthday parties and things because your families can't get along. But maybe for the next season, if they want to do better than have just one couple standing, hopefully they will do that. And maybe bring in a therapist. Like, why do y'all not have couples counseling? I thought that was something you were required to do before getting married. But maybe that's just me growing up in the church. If you want the pastor to do your wedding, you have to go through the counseling. But moving on. Clay's brother said he can see the change in him, that he is more transparent and more open. We haven't really seen AD and Clay together the last 2 episodes, so it's a possibility, but as the viewers, we haven't been able to see it. So from my perspective, he just keeps repeating the same things over and over, like he has his script memorized, and that's all. We finally get to meet the infamous Mr. Trevor himself, Clay's dad. Yeah, his dad gives me player vibes. It all makes sense now. His dad starts telling him how proud he is of him and giving him advice. Then he gives him advice his mother told him, and they were, treat your wife well and be good to your kids. He completely glazed right over the treat your wife well. Sir, cheating on her and taking the kids with you to cheat on her is not treating her well. Clay did some more self-reflection, and he finally realized he is just like his dad. But even though he knows all these things, he still needs to seek outside help. Everyone knows their flaws, but we most likely won't be able to handle the issues without that outside perspective and guidance. I don't know why he's so into looking at himself and figuring things out. I don't know why he's never just gone ahead and got counseling for this. If you want to fix your life so bad, what are you waiting for? Obviously you and your overthinking thoughts have not been getting the job done. So just go ahead and get that outside help. And then I wish AD would have taken her nose ring out, or at least put in a more subtle little stud. It was just so distracting to me. I just wanted to go over and just yank it. Why take it out? You can have piercings, you can have tattoos on your wedding day, but it just wasn't going with her look. It was just standing out too much and taking away from the rest of the look. So I think she could have changed it. It doesn't matter now anyways. Clay looked so nervous and antsy standing there with his mom waiting to walk down the aisle. He was literally looking every which way for his exit point. So they say their vows, everything is going great, and I just knew as soon as it got to him, he was going to say no. Why go through the whole ceremony just to say no? They had to have forced him down that aisle, which is a theory that the producers make you go down the aisle. And I can believe it after seeing him. He still wants to be with her, but he is just now apparently realizing he's not ready for marriage. He realized a lot of stuff while talking to his dad this morning. Why did you only figure this stuff out today? This has been an issue. But anyways, he found out this morning apparently that he has problems. And AD already said she would leave him if he said no. The silence in that ceremony was deafening. I was looking at everybody's faces. some of the faces were just like priceless. Honestly, I couldn't help but laugh at some of the faces. And he's trying to like reason with her, and he keeps saying she'll fight for him. He knows she'll fight for him. Why do y'all keep talking about fighting and war? Marriage should not be that hard if you are truly with the right person. AD then just turns and points at her mom. Her mom said, "We good?" All the sisters got up on cue. They must have already prepared this dramatic exit. Clay's mom tells him that he shouldn't be forced to say "I do." Ma'am, he knew the timeline before signing up, and he should have known he wasn't ready. It was so clear. Why didn't you tell him then? He couldn't have possibly just realized all these things today that everyone else picked up on way before. They need to start forcing these couples into marriage counseling instead of having them meet a bunch of friends and family. I hate AD started beating herself up because that was all on him. I need Clay's parents to stop trying to sound like wise owls and tell him the truth. What they said could apply to anybody else, but not here. Your son was the problem. He has a problem. He is the problem. Are y'all scared to tell him that? Clay can just go ahead and get off my screen at this point. First off, did you really need to ask your dad? Should you go talk to her? What do you think? It's like you didn't care at all that you wasted her time. Then you started making up reasons why y'all weren't ready. You discussed jobs and working hours and the fact you bought a house, which I'm pretty sure you said you would keep paying on because you were already paying for it. And you're telling me you never discussed finances? Just stop. Stop trying to sound mature and above it. The only thing correct you said is you are not a husband. At this point, you are too much work to even be a boyfriend. All right, so he goes to talk to AD, and I think she had a little slip up. Like here, I thought there was honestly no hope for her, because why are you kissing on this man and hugging him like that? Like, it could not be me. As soon as Mama said, "We good?" I would have been chucking those mics at production and jumping in the first car out of here. They would not have been able to stop me. They would have been calling my phone. "Monty, where are you at? I'm disappearing. I'm going on a honeymoon by myself." And it's just hard for a person to change in a relationship where they are already used to being a certain way. So Clay keeps saying he's going to get counseling. You should have got counseling already. I had a guy tell me he would get therapy one time. He came back from his first session explaining to me the struggles of being a Scorpio. So I made my exit plan that day. Some of us are not that strong yet. I understand. They go back to Clay's parents talking, and his mom tells his dad that he needs to explain to Clay about his infidelity and apologize for being a bad example when it comes to marriage. When his dad responded, I truly thought it was Clay speaking. He starts going on about never having his dad around or a good role model. Sir, what does that have to do with you being an awful husband? Own your mistakes. It is no one else's fault if you know right from wrong. In the end, AD finally got it together and ended the relationship. Thank God we can be done with these people. Amy and Johnny's wedding day. I love that Amy included Johnny's sister as her bridesmaid. The energy around their wedding is so different. It's happier and more positive. You can tell they have a deep connection just by Johnny saying what all he loves about her. He came prepared with a list. Amy and Johnny must have let their families meet beforehand. The way the sister and her dad were talking, I can't see somebody talking that way after only meeting 5 minutes ago. So I'm going to assume they already had a meeting themselves, which is smart. Like I said, you should let the families meet. So it was nice to see them getting along so well. They will have wonderful family gatherings one day and a solid support system. Amy and her sister told Johnny's sister about the dreams that her dad and her have had in the past about some blonde guy who they're assuming is Johnny. So honestly, maybe it has been written in the stars for them all along and they didn't even know it. But Johnny looked very sure of himself walking down the aisle. I'm not sure why Amy was even a little bit worried. I don't think it's ever been a doubt in Johnny's mind about her. They had a beautiful wedding, of course, but they did skip over Johnny's vows. I don't know why. I guess they said, you came with that list. We've already heard everything we need to hear. But nevertheless, we ended with only one wedding. I can't wait for the reunion. I hope it's a mix of drama from the show and off the show. Subscribe so you won't miss next week's review of the reunion. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and comment. I'll see you next time.